operational budget for the next fiscal semi-decade. Credit where it's due. To me, as your chief executive, I've fostered a healthy cutthroat rivalry between our top divisions. Jealousy, hard feelings, really stirring the pot. Unorthodox? Well, no, not really. But I get results. Writ large. Black ink on our balance sheet. You're welcome, employees. Have a profitable day. Item.
Commander, I have news. I finally heard back from Virgil. His message was suitably vague. I suspect he fears the consul's eyes scanning his message, but I believe it to refer to the Arbiter training facility located on Paradise Island. Bringing our... I only hope... It's silent as a tomb. I hope we aren't too late. If Virgil's not about, he's like to be in the training grounds depths. There's a lift that will take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs.
Kristen, it's a relief to see a friendly face. Do come up.
Virgil! Ah, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Consul, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die.
Ready to waste it, on your command.
Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold. You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until we are safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Couldn't avoid
Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Consul is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Consul must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? I did what I thought was just.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, I've not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Unfortunately, it seems you found him before he could complete his task. Would that he had. I had no wish to cause his death through my impetuousness. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss. No. I can, if the situation was truly as he claims, understand his initial decision. Perhaps I even sympathize. Just a little. But playing false with me, that's another matter entirely. And the matter of justice remains. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. I find myself torn. Though I still believe wholeheartedly in protectorate law, you and I have certainly encountered other dubious situations. You taught me to judge based on merits. Together we spared some and executed others. But what I have learned with you shall be most difficult to apply here. Virgil is my sworn brother, and he acted under duress. But killing the Supreme Arbiter is unforgivable. Yes, but it is beyond the jurisdiction of even those such as us to mete out such a judgment. It should have been elevated to higher channels.
And how would the Consul have reacted to an official accusation of treason by an inferior, no less? You know they care not for evidence.
But the Supreme Arbiter herself taught us exactly that. That evidence proves the crime. Surely she wouldn't have been so hypocritical as to deny that?
People change when faced with their own death. I would expect you'd learned that by now.
Except that Arbiter's problem was one of intent, not action. I do see some semblance, however. But even if that is the case, there is no room for interpretation here. Sparing Virgil would directly reject all I've been taught to uphold. Any other Arbiter would. But then again, I was not trained as just any arbiter. The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? No. And even if there was, maybe this was right. We must think for ourselves if Arcadia is to survive. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. It could be better if I did not. I cannot be sure this path does not fly in the face of all I believe, or speak to some weakness at the depths of my being. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
I know this decision can't have been easy, but better to make a hard choice you can live with than an easy one you can't.
I don't know what to say. I just wish there had been some other option. That's all well and good, but it shan't undo my actions or bring anyone back. I must live with that. 1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further sentinels. But allowing him to live was betraying the Protectorate, wasn't it? I find myself more torn than ever before, and yet it does not feel like a misdeed. You're right. Virgil was trapped between Protectorate laws, and only leniency could free him. But the fact that such a circumstance could happen at all. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? But how? I see. I must follow my own path, my own sense of right and wrong. I can only hope it has been cultivated properly. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. Words are not worth the air propelling them. Let me make good on them first. Then you may be impressed. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.
With agent's health needs. Looks like we'll need that rift modulator from Praetor that DeVries mentioned to proceed.
By my next vision that had any hostile. Let's weapon prime. Unfriendly in combat range.
What the fuck is happening to the glorious dawn?
Well, we have visitors. At first, we thought they were converts to the Order, newly initiated into the wonders and glory of the plan. And they apparently mistook us for believers of their zealous delusion. They are nonsensically worshippers of the rifts. The literal, actual rifts. Supposedly, through the rifts, we transcend this mortal coil and are united in an ethereal utopia, instead of the more likely experience of having one's atoms ripped apart. Still, despite their peculiar notions and rituals, we did not consider this to be disqualifying of our good grace and hospitality. Until they tossed Johansson into the rift. And while I cannot say for certain what happens when you pass through a rift, those of us who remain have no intention of finding out. We are planning a quiet exit in the night.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultist at Newton quite the interruption to my focus. Now, how might we be of use to one another?
You should have seen the entrails fly. It was glorious.
I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. But you may also take this. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component. The web is an order-crafted network of information collection satellites. Our would-be protectorate overlords squandered them as glorified surveillance devices. We actually implanted a back door in the web to bring it back under our control, should a circumstance like this arise. But we did not foresee certain protectorate modifications. Let's not speak of that. Find a way past the protectorate at the crash site, collect the data, and return it here. Violence is likely, but perhaps you'll find an alternative. Collect the data from the crash.
If it isn't my favorite collaborator. I thought I said we shouldn't be seen together. Sharpen my... I'll put in a word with my associate. In exchange for my help, however, I want you to bring the data back here. Doubt heard the phrase, knowledge is power. We do. Return...
Wait up.
Investigating hostile intentions.
Unfriendly nearby.
Perfect society demands perfect...
Proceeding to attack.
Combatants observed.
Issues, Commander.
Have you considered that submitting ourselves voluntarily is proof enough that we don't require it, and would in fact waste resources that could be better spent on other subjects? Need I remind you that we are at war? All loyal subjects must be willing to sacrifice their... Greetings. Could you help us settle a matter? We've set out for mental refreshment, but upon reflection, the resources needed for it are a luxury we should forgo due to the war.
If you're doubting that you need refreshment, I can request a specialized...
When framed in that way, it does sound rather resource-intensive. I'll just hold off for now. As a loyal subject, I'll get it done if necessary, but I can't say I need it quite yet. I've made up my mind. I'll hold off for now and go another time. Obviously, the treatment and effort would be wasted on a loyal subject such as myself. Thank you, stranger.
Stay true, outsider.
Hostile in proximity.
Gloria, Arcadia, never to be outshone. Our colony, Arcadia, our home.
Aborting search!
Don't worry.
Processing anomalous.
Resorting to violence. Hostilities are afoot.
The mental refreshment process increases traffic, stifles unreactivity, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
Immobilizing.
Seeking shelter.
Scoping out a hostile. Trouble ahead.
While there are many facilities to be found throughout Arcadia, Placid Waters Wellnetarium here on Earth is uniquely special. Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. Come in, and be refreshed.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions...
Are you ready to realign with the paradigm? To shed all manner of imperfect thoughts? All it takes is some light instruction, a restorative cocktail, and a quick dip into the lathe of particularity to abrade your imperfections. I'm Head Refresher Gould, and I guarantee when you exit our doors, you'll be a productive member of our perfect society again. Soon you'll say, goodbye, imperfect thoughts. Hello,
This is new. A mild euphoric, light hallucinogenic properties. Not entirely unpleasant, but kid stuff.
Greetings, subject. Or should I say, refreshed to be.
Prudence dictates we reject individualism.
Ah, you've gained privileged...
Combat probable.
Responsible for making the mental refreshment.
Come to the... You're not on my schedule. Oh,
this is all a...
Oh, you appear to have questioned. Why, of course, it's the duty of every subject to submit for a baseline understanding of your character. Yes, as placid waters well detected. Right as rain, neighbor. Right, refresh. I've undergone the procedure myself. Non-authorized. Simply.
Your realignment with the paradigm begins now.
I'll handle this. Brass raring to go. Got my lamps on a hot.
No party. Quarry found.
Could have sworn. Wait, you're not a pig.
Gonna assume this one's in.
Well, out with it. Who are you? Oh, this presents a rare opportunity. To what end are you here? Tell me truly. Speak plainly. Ah, I have a proposal for you. There. So, what of the order? My position is a burden gladly taken to ease the suffering of our subjects. I think so they don't have to ensure the paradigm runs ably. Their order is though your... What say you about Auntie's choice, that... Your point, in the Protectorate, we have the best of everything. Food, technology, a sense of I understand you meant that as an insult. Oh, are we to debate then? I admit I assumed this conversation would be more engaging. What next? Oh dear, the tech... Now, feel free to scavenge around. It's not as if anything you find here will be any use to your masters.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability.
Wait.
You agitatement.
I was led to believe my case required minimal treatment. But that last session, that was far more intensive. Strong observation, Your Sublime Radiance. We set the lathe to the maximal abradement setting, per instructions. Maximal? Who authorized you to use that setting? I demand the name of my betrayer! Subject is exhibiting increased agitation upon exiting the lathe, consistent with extreme cases. Further abradement recommended. Who are you speaking to? Are you recording this? Enough of this farce! Release me at once!
Feel free to scavenge around. It's not as if anything you find here will be any use to your masters.
Unthinking is essential. Unthink today. Unthink tomorrow. Unthink forever.
Sovereign provides.
Refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia. Plastic waters planetarium. Here on further. Refresher Gould, the top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process.
From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
It is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
Curiosity does not enter
Greetings,
into my...
new person. You have a look of query about you. I have answers to questions and no questions to answer.
Collective cognitive compliance is
Medicament dispensement
your
has concluded.
Hello? Oh, you're new. Must be. You still retain that look of inquiry and deliberation. I make all songs about the original versions about being, of course. We're all supposed to watch each other close. I couldn't leave. Not yet. My commemorative pitch. Oh! So one way out's the safest. Someone.
Their team plays the worst anyone has ever played. Our first back is perfect. Our pitch ball is well conveyed.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to...
Hello. My name is Abigail. It is the... I am newly pondering. That, a restorative cocktail of... Why, it's right up. Just follow the sun. I once bright as rain. I only refresh...
While there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia, Placid Waters Wellnetarium, here on Fraser, is uniquely special.
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould, the top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Grey gone astray?
Aw, a new phase. Admitted questions as every... You've missed the daily... The medicament... I see Head Refresher Ghoul upstairs in the audiovisual aids office of court. How very interesting. You must...
You like stealing compost from a breadworm. Almost feel a little...
Greeting, unscheduled walk-in. On a scale of 1 to 10. Odds. Medicament dispense spawn. Barrel. Greeting, unscheduled walk-in.
Find the hostile. Ratcheting up my aggression.
Hostile detected. N-ray. Exposure. Undermining.
Be a good neighbor.
Gould, the top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Thinking.
The tunnel out was right here. Oh, they put a this. Oh, and last I heard, guess all outsiders aren't as bad as Prudence makes you out to be. After you, by all means. I fear I must insist.
Increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing
A perfect society demands perfect thoughts.
Never more content.
Each crime regime, think only prescribed thoughts, and noblesse and plenty.
Aggressors in range.
Investigating hostile intentions.
Behind the mental refreshment process. That's why we are all happy and
Don't hurt him, please. The Sovereign isn't at his best right now. You're not here to harm him, are you? If so, I must warn you, I will defend the Sovereign to the fullest extent of my... Yes, it is. Our beneficent, infallible ruler, You'll have to forgive him, right? Since then, he has been receiving debt. Well, after his first session, absurd nonsense about how the consul... That all stopped after his next dip into the lathe, thank law. Preposterous. No subject of the protect to even think this stately form before you is the... I will stay true to him. The Sovereign is receiving the finest possible... Just go. Please, just leave us. Just leave.
The top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever. Efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry. Preserves their progress.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
Still too many corporate bootlickers drawing error. Who exactly? Niall? I mean, I find her amusing. Of course. I wish I'd known about her department. But the fact, hope it doesn't diminish. Not a, you real. Now she'll be a corp. Such as?
Remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is. Took what nature heedlessly assembled and vastly rebettered it through artificial means.
I see you're back from the Protectorate's little mind manipulation spa. All their secrets in hand, yes?
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been Really? Thought you had...
I, for one, care little for the completion of stretch goals. You managed to avoid being mentally...
Now, our people will extract details. Can't say I like the sound of that. What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything is... But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? Oh, good to... What else? Not too bad about the lead. All right. For your next assignment, well...
Congratulations. Your storied success has earned you a whole...
So your preliminary chores are complete. Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? Ah, I see we have an ideological fellow traveler. Why, this is a nice surprise. I hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. Certain communications have even been exchanged between our ship and the Order's headquarters. You've spoken to the delegates, yes? A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Oh, my security team would never allow... Of course, Ruth would also need to agree. Perhaps if you were to perform a few useful... Have Ruth reach out when she's ready to...